Hi there. Welcome to the travel agency. You have an appointment today? What time? Perfect. Well, you'll be meeting with me then. And you can just have a seat. And you called in, is that correct? Let me bring up the notes. Okay, so you are planning a road trip across the United States? Awesome. Well, that will be a lot of fun and I can definitely walk you through it. Are you heading in any specific direction? Okay, so Route 66. And leaving here, I'm assuming, from California. And then where is your final destination? Chicago? You actually did that trip a few years ago, so I can give you recommendations. And is it just for fun? Okay, and are you traveling alone? Okay. Are we booking any hotels along the route, or are you staying with friends or family? Okay, so maybe you're renting an RV. Perfect. So we can figure out the itinerary and the timing then. How many days are you looking to be on the road? And then is this a one-way trip or a round trip? Can you confirm your phone number? And then also your email address. Perfect. So I'm going to bring up our itinerary system now. And you can see it on the screen here. I'll show you as I type. But I'm basically going to walk you through the trip, give you suggestions, and then we can finalize everything after you think about it. So what are the dates? Okay, yeah, so that would probably be a good amount of time. So you may already know this, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of background. So Route 66 actually opened up in 1926, and it covers 8 states and 2,400 miles one way. So that being said, you want to make sure you are fueled up before you leave, of course. Make sure you have snacks for the road, water, and then kind of plan out what your stops will be, which is what we're going to do today, and then obviously where you're sleeping. There are some stretches of highway that do not have any stops or gas stations, so you'll want to always make sure you stop when you're getting close to even just a half a tank. Kind of just want to make sure you're always filled so you don't run out. Alright, and then you said you're going to take care of the RV yourself. Alright, so since you already live here in Los Angeles, we don't have to worry about any itinerary here besides leaving. Although I would suggest you potentially take a photo on the Santa Monica Pier if you are interested in maybe doing a photo diary. So that is where you'll see the sign that says end of the trail. And I can show you a picture of that when we're done. I have some pictures I can show you. So I would start by doing that, and you could go do that today if you wanted to. But just something that you can look back on for your journey. So you would leave here, and then I would suggest stopping 2 hours out, which would be Barstow, California. And let's just see what the recommendations are. So you can stop at the Mother Road Museum, and it's pretty small, but it has a lot of historical information, souvenirs, things like that. Plus, it's a good time to stretch your legs. And I'm writing this all down for you, obviously. And they're open, let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 3. So obviously only if you leave on one of those days. Now, have you been to the Grand Canyon? Okay, you have not. So I would definitely plan on stopping. Only because it really is kind of on your route. You won't have to go too far out of the main direction. And that is about 6 hours from Barstow. It's not directly on Route 66, but obviously it's worth seeing, so I'm gonna recommend that. And I would actually recommend going from Los Angeles to the Grand Canyon as the first leg of your trip if you feel comfortable. I don't know how many hours you'd like to drive every day. You think you'll be good with that? Okay. And then you can just stay the night at the Grand Canyon and then spend the next morning there, which will be really pretty for pictures. So you want to figure out where you want to park your RV for the night. And there are tons of things to do there. You can go hiking, you can go rafting, and then I would suggest arriving at the South Rim. I'm going to make note of that. There's an RV park there, which will work out perfect for you, and a visitor center, and then a really pretty lookout point for pictures. And let's see, the visitor center hours are Thursday to Monday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Alright, so after exploring the Grand Canyon, I would go to Flagstaff, Arizona, and that's about an hour and a half from the Grand Canyon. So you can refuel there, you can get some good food, there's some shopping if you're interested. And there's an area, let me find out what road it's on, where there's a big Route 66 mural on the ground. So you can get a picture there. And I just love that area. When I was driving in one part of Arizona going into Flagstaff, it was really cool to be in the desert, and then all of a sudden there was snow on the ground. So much to see on the drive. And then you might want to stop by the Painted Desert area or the Petrified Forest National Park. Both beautiful landscapes, beautiful place to take photos, and obviously more time for you to stretch your legs. So I'll make a note of that. And then Albuquerque. So Albuquerque, New Mexico is 6 hours from the Grand Canyon. So this would still be on your second day. They have a really nice downtown area and also a nice area with really good authentic Mexican cuisine. Some museums, art galleries, and just a really nice place to explore. So you could spend some time there. Then what's after that? I guess I would say maybe stop for some food and gas. Well, actually first you might want to stay in Albuquerque. If you're tired, if you want to just make that the end of your trip. And then the next day I would head to Amarillo, Texas. So that's 4 hours from Albuquerque. And when you're there, you'll want to visit something called Cadillac Ranch. So you may have seen pictures of that before, but basically it's an art exhibit with half-buried Cadillacs into the ground, and they're all sprayed with graffiti. So it's kind of like a destination on Route 66, and it's encouraged to spray paint car if you want to leave your mark, and also a good place for a photo. And I know there's a diner there and then some other fast food, so again, good place to stop. Then you can head on over to Oklahoma City. So Oklahoma City is 4 hours from there. And there's a lot to do in Oklahoma City, so it kind of depends on what your interests are. There is a restaurant called Pops, and it is a landmark diner and gas station. Write that down. And there are tons and tons of varieties of soda there. So, really cool place. I think I have a picture to show you of that too. And there's also a restaurant called the Rock Cafe. Again, good food. And I'm pretty sure the movie Cars took some of their inspiration from that restaurant, so you'll see a lot of Cars references when you're there, which is cool. But yeah, I would look up all of the different attractions in Oklahoma City and see what you might want to do besides that. Again, museums, attractions, shopping, so lots to do. So I would probably stay in Oklahoma City that night then. And then the next morning, St. Louis. So St. Louis is 7 hours from Oklahoma City. And again, this is all just approximate. Obviously, if there's traffic, it can be a little bit longer. But you'll want to see the Gateway Arch. And I think you can actually take a tram to the top. I never did that, but I've heard about it. And then I know another cool place is the St. Louis Car Museum. And that's a classic stop on Route 66. And then after that, you can head to Chicago, which I think is about 4.5 hours from St. Louis. And I know you'll be visiting your family there, so you'll have plenty to do with them. Chicago is a great city. I actually didn't explore it on my Route 66 trip, because I went from Los Angeles to New York City, but there is tons to do, a lot of good food. You can see shows, museums, sites, so make sure you enjoy your time there. So I have this all in the itinerary program, and now I will show you the few pictures and then go from there. So just as a reminder, this is the route you will be taking. So you'll be leaving from right here and driving all of Route 66. So there is a snapshot of your map. And then here's a picture of Cadillac Ranch that I referenced. So there are all of the cars. Again, a cool spot for pictures. And then, by the way, here's that sign I mentioned that is on the Santa Monica Pier if you want to take a picture there. And then this is outside of the Pops restaurant that I mentioned, so it's kind of cool if you stop there at night for dinner. You'll see what it looks like in the dark. And then lastly, the St. Louis Arch, which, again, yeah, apparently you can take a tram up there, which is pretty cool. So now that we have all of the basics figured out, I'm just going to that's perfect. I'm going to just jot this down. Get a pencil. Okay, so you're going to do Los Angeles to to Barstow, or no, I'm sorry, to the Grand Canyon. Stopping in Barstow. The Grand Canyon to Albuquerque. Stopping in Flagstaff. Albuquerque to Oklahoma City, with a stop in Texas, Cadillac Ranch, and then Oklahoma City to Chicago. And now if you change your mind and decide to not fly home, which I'm assuming you're doing, right? Okay. You can always travel back from Chicago and make a round trip. So you could go to, let's see, Nebraska, Colorado, Utah, all beautiful. You could go to Las Vegas. So just an option there as well. But I know that takes more time. And obviously, again, this is just a snapshot of your options, so I really encourage you to go home and research all these cities and see if anything else is of interest. Then I can help you nail down your itinerary. Again, it's very important to have everything mapped out so you know where you're staying, where you're eating, so you can just have fun and be safe. So I'm going to email you everything we talked about today. And any other questions, please reach out. We have plenty of time before you leave, so you don't have to be concerned about booking anything too soon, but I would also recommend you get your car checked out before you leave. Just to make sure you have air in your tires, make sure your oil is changed, and just make sure everything is safe. And if you do need me to book any spots for your RV to park so you can sleep, I can do that too. And I think that's it for now. So I have everything I need, and do you have any questions? Okay. Well, it's going to be a very fun trip, and I think it's definitely something everyone should try once, so very exciting. Again, you have my contact info if you need anything, so feel free to reach out, and I look forward to reconnecting soon when we can finalize everything. So thanks for choosing me, and I'll talk to you soon.